Yo, what's good everyone? Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about this one thing is holding young entrepreneurs back from living their dream life. So yeah, this is going to be targeted to the young people. It's going to be targeted mainly to the young guys. I'm going to consider 16 to 25 in this case. It's subjective to what you think young is, but I'm going to talk about 16 to 25. Most likely are going to school / uni / working. You don't have much experience or skills, not a lot of money, and you're maybe unsure about what you want to do with your life. So either you're unsure about what you want to do with your life so far, or you know what you want out of life. You have these big dreams, these big goals and aspirations, but you just don't know how to get there, or you've been grinding to get there and nothing seems to be clicking. So I want to go over today what the thing that seems to be holding back a lot of these people. This definitely helped me back in the beginning, and once you get over this, you're like 90% of your problems are going to be solved. All right, so before we get into this, make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe if you're new to the channel, and let's get into it. So this is what I believe the one thing that's holding most entrepreneurs back, the young ones, the ones that are my age. It's that their inability to be resourceful. Let me say that again. Their inability to be resourceful. So a lot of young people, I find, especially me, as I said, I'm no saint because I used to go through this, but especially me, especially when I was younger, like I used to point the finger. I used to blame a lot of my inability to get what I want based on my external circumstances. Basically, I was pointing the finger at everything that I didn't have or couldn't have or basically couldn't have, the resources that I didn't have at the moment. I use that as a crutch, as a cope, as a reason as to why I wasn't where I wanted to be yet. And that's just not the way you want to operate, guys. Like, this should not be an excuse to not get ahead of others and take action. It shouldn't be an excuse to not live the dream life that you want, to actually turn those dreams into reality. Whatever you had your dream life looking like, it should not be an excuse, because everyone starts somewhere, okay? A lot of young people I know and speak to, like I said, blame outside circumstances about why they can't do X, Y, Z, why they can't get to 10k a month, for example, why they can't get in shape, why they can't start training Muay Thai, for example. I don't know why they can't do X, Y, Z. We're just pointing the finger. This is what we do a lot. We're very guilty of this. And in reality, like, if I put it this way, it should make sense. In reality, I bet there's thousands of other people who started from a worse position than you, yet got further ahead than you and I, simply because they knew how to be resourceful. So think about it. Like, there's big chances a lot of people who are living the life that you want, but they started with less resources, they started with less money, they didn't have as much time on their hands, they weren't as talented, their IQ wasn't as high, they came from a third world country. There's many examples you hear all the time with like billionaires, with millionaires, the ones who came from humble beginnings, rappers, celebrities, actors, anyone you look up to. A lot of them, obviously there's people who had privilege, who started from like rich families and such, but I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the people who started from a worse position than you and I, and yet got what they wanted. So there should really be no excuse nowadays, especially with the internet. It makes things a lot easier. You have access to information, a lot of information. I mean, all the information is out there, so there's pretty much no excuse to not start building towards your dream life. Like, it's long overdue. You probably had these dreams and aspirations for months to several years now. Like, when are you gonna? When is it's 22? It's June now. Like, when are we gonna make a change? You're 6 months into the year. You haven't done anything about it yet, or you kind of given up on it. When is it gonna change? Like, tell me. Like, when are you actually gonna make the decision to do something different? Okay, it all starts with you being resourceful. It all starts with you working with what you have. So, for example, while I was in uni 2 years ago, I used my last bit of money, and it wasn't even my own money. So if my parents are watching this, they're not gonna like this, but it's in the past now, so can't do anything about it. So it was actually so if you're from the UK, you know about student finance, right? So student finance, basically a student loan given to you like 2-3 times a year to help support your bills and your living expenses and your tuition if you are struggling to make that money. And most people opt for this student loan, the student finance, and most people, they're smart with it, right? They use it, they budget it, they use it to help with their living expenses, keep the accommodation, keep the roof over their head, pay for food, pay for transport, pay for tuition. They're very smart about it, they're very organized with it. Me, on the other hand, I took a massive bet on myself. I wasn't very smart with it. I mean, smart, you see why this was smart later, but to most people, 99% of people, especially if my parents knew about this at the time, they would have killed me. So I used my last bit of money. It was about let me change that actually. It's like 1.6K dollars, 1.7, to invest into a high ticket coaching program to help grow my business at the time. So I was trying to run, while I was in uni, I was in business too. I was trying to run an online coaching business, helping other coaches with marketing. And it didn't, I don't do that anymore. But it had its time. It had its brief period of success, but never amounted to anything great. But that's not the point. At the time, I needed a mentor. I needed help. I invested my last bit of money, which wasn't even mine. It was given by the government, and it was supposed to be for keeping food in my stomach and putting a roof over my head. And I invested that into a high-ticket coaching program, into a coach, a mentor. And now I'm not telling you guys to be as reckless as this, because maybe you're watching, you have a family, you do need to eat, you need to keep a roof over your head. So don't be as reckless as I was. I mean, if you're wondering how I still stayed alive and still kept afloat, was because I asked my parents for money, but I didn't tell them about this at the time because I knew they'd kill me if they found out. So I just asked them for money. Yeah, it was embarrassing, but I'd already made the decision. Like, it was a done deal. Let me even show you. So October 16, 2021, I was super hyped. Like, I hopped on the call with the closer of the mentorship, and I wasn't even planning to invest because I knew I barely had any money. I needed to budget this money. I needed to be smart about it. I just got into uni. I didn't have much money at the time, so I had to be smart with this loan. All right, and yet I got off the call, I ended up investing, I ended up getting started in this program, and I didn't feel any guilt until later on, obviously. I mean, it kind of seeped in, but at the time, I'm forever grateful for the closer, and I was very, very hyped when I got off the call because I couldn't wait to get started on the program and start growing, right? So, and this is the proof too. October 2021, basically 1.7K. It was 5K initially, but split into 3 because that's literally all I could do. But he got me in anyway. This is what I did. And to 99% of people, it would look like a stupid decision. But I'm still grateful to this day to the closer. And you know who you are, because without doing that, Jeremy, I'm going to say your name, Jeremy. You know who you are. Thanks for closing me on that. I'm actually going to thank you because it changed my life. But I'm grateful for you, bro. And because without doing that, I wouldn't be where I am today. Like, had I not done that basically altered the timeline of reality that I would have been in today. I don't know where I would be if I didn't do that. It's all for a reason, right? I feel like everything is for a reason. I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't learn the skills. And if you know what the skill I'm talking about appointment setting. I wouldn't learn that. And I wouldn't meet the people I know now. Like, it had its own community. I made some lifelong friends, some business partners, people I worked with just because I joined this program. All right? So on the outside, it looked like, to most people, to those who aren't resourceful or aren't smart, it looked like I just blew 1.7K down the drain for no reason. So that's what it looked like on the surface, but in reality, this is the benefits that you get out of it. And it's only going to come around if you put in the work and you actually participate. So that's that. And on top of that, I made the investment back. It put me on the path to live my dream life, making Wi-Fi money. While it didn't happen, straight away, this is what needed to happen. Like, it happened 6 to 12 months to 18 months after I made the investment, after this happened. And I feel like when the seeds that you plant tomorrow, or the seeds that you plant today, will bear fruit. Not straight away, not tomorrow, but a couple of years from now, a couple months to a couple of years from now. That's how it works. So, living my dream life, basically making Wi-Fi money, being in the best shape of my life. I moved back to Philippines solo around this time last year, and I was able to. I was seeing family, giving back, like helping the family out, also having a top tier network and circle, and pretty much doing whatever I want on a daily basis here. So every day, pretty much, I can get up, I can wake up, and I can decide what I want to do basically. And I know it's just a starting point. This should just be the starting point for most of you, but to a lot of people, they'd kill for this kind of life. And I'm not trying to say that to brag. Like, this is what a lot of people I speak to, they want to be able to wake up and do whatever they want, not be tied down to a boss or a schedule, right? So I initially didn't want to spend that money. We're going to stick to this example. I initially didn't want to spend that money because of fear. It's completely normal. Fear of failure, fear of uncertainty. Plus, I needed to pay bills. and I didn't, but I did it anyway. Like, I needed to pay for bills, I needed to put food in my stomach. These were like two valid reasons, right? But guess what? I did it anyway. I did it anyway because I knew there'd be a return on investment if I put in the work. The money's gonna come back, plus time is not gonna come back, pretty much. So if I put in the work, I'd get the money back, I'd sign clients for my business, and then also the greater fear of what would happen if I didn't do this. Like I said earlier, like, I don't know where I'd be, and I also dreaded the fact that of thinking about where I would be or where I wouldn't be if I didn't do this, right? If I didn't meet these people, if I just kept doing what I was doing, okay? So this fear was greater than the fear of uncertainty, of failure, of investing. That's why I did it anyway. And then look how it turned out, all right? So that just goes to show that was a little story about being resourceful, because this is all I had. I didn't have much experience before. I was just a young kid. I was still in uni, so my schedule wasn't the greatest. Like, I didn't have all the free time in the world, and yet I still was resourceful. I still worked with what I got, and this is what led to today. So even if you don't have money, like, let's say you don't have money, like you have zero in the bank, you still probably have a hidden ace up your sleeve. Whether that's spare time, like you have a lot of time, you have a lot of energy, especially when you're young and you're taking care of yourself. You should have a lot of energy to work compared to the older generation. Let's say you have connections. If you have connections, utilize them. Be resourceful. If you already know an existing skill that could be monetized, sales, marketing, I don't know, copywriting, email marketing, whatever it is, if you already know something, monetize that. Let's say you have a high IQ. I don't know how you know that. Maybe you did an IQ test. Maybe people say you're smart, but use that to your advantage. Like, I bet every single one of you guys who are watching this, you have something up your sleeve that you could use that the next person probably doesn't. So use that, be resourceful, okay? Don't be a bitch. Start with what you got instead of focusing what you don't have. So that's basically abundance mindset. And the quote goes, you can take away everything from a millionaire and they'd make it all back, because again, they know how to be resourceful, they have the skills, they have the tools, and they have the mindset needed to make everything back and get to where they were before. So I could lose everything, and I have confidence in myself to make it back. If I'm having a bad month, I don't, it used to freak me out, but now it doesn't really, because I know what I have. I have the cards stacked in my favor. I have the mindset, I have the skills, I have the character, I have the personal brand, you guys, on YouTube, on Instagram, on wherever, and I have the connections to get back to a better position if I lost it all. So I'm not scared. Like, sometimes I do get scared. Sometimes I'm gonna come clean. Like, I do get uncertain. I do get a bit stressed, but ultimately, there's no reason for me to stress out and worry about losing it all, because I have all these things for me. But it didn't start like that. So if you're in that position, if you're a young person and you really don't have much going for you, you need to think about what you do have going for you. You need to think about what resources you currently have at your disposal. You're probably watching this on a laptop, on the phone. You probably have access to YouTube. You probably have access to a bunch of other stuff. You have access to a Wi-Fi connection. If you'll be able to watch this, that's, for most people, 99% of people, that will be enough. That will be enough to get started on this. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that makes sense. I hope this was a good reminder if you needed it. You need to be resourceful, guys. You need to just think outside the box, and you need to stop blaming like what you don't have and start thinking about what you do have. So in this case, like, if you've been following the channel and you know kind of what I help people with, it's appointment setting. So pretty much you help business owners book more appointments, you make commission, that's how you make money online. That's what I used to do to make money online. So if you're trying to get into appointment setting, if you don't have money, for example, or you want to just start with my free content, by all means, go for it. Like, I have over 300 something plus videos at this point. So plenty of education there, plenty of resources. If you go on the Hubi link on my YouTube, like the top link, that has access to my appointment setting framework, the appointment setting manifesto. So go steal that if you want. It's completely free. Go through my free YouTube content. Also, wanted to just show you again, like, this is looking back to my dream life. If you want to go on my Instagram, you can go check it out as well, behind the scenes, same as my YouTube. Well, pretty much same as my YouTube. This is the Hubi link I'm talking about. Go through my highlights, go through my stories, go through my posts. A lot can change in a couple years. Or if you want to shortcut your way into success, let's say you have a bit of investment to spend, or you literally just want to cut the BS, you want to get there as soon as possible, you want to start making money online as soon as possible, even if you don't have experience, even if you don't have prior skills, even if you're a beginner, like, you can choose to work directly with me. Kind of like how I did, how I choose to shortcut the process, cut all the fluff, the BS, and chose to go straight for a mentor. If you want to do the same thing, and you want to learn how to really be resourceful, and you want to crush it, you're ready to commit, no pressure. But if you want to work directly with me, or join my group as well, we also have a group, links in the description below. You can go check that out. You can book a call with me, you can join my group, whichever one you want to do. Anyways, guys, I hope that was a good video. I hope it was a good reminder that you need to be resourceful, and that, you know, you can't just focus on what you don't have, because that's not going to help you. It's not going to help you. Like, you need to look at what you have at the moment and use that to your advantage. Okay, you got books, you got courses, you got resources, you got YouTube videos, you got Google, you got friends you can ask. What more do you want? All right, so make sure you're resourceful. That's what I feel like is holding young people back nowadays from living their dream life. If you enjoyed, if you agreed with this video, make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe to the channel. Links in the description. I'll see you in the next one.